Hello world, this is Gulmakai, the author of Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule. Speak Up with Gulmakai is a talk show that focuses on a holistic approach to tackle hate by promoting understanding and goodness. We want to empower our audience to break the cycle of hate by creating an environment where there's understanding and empathy amongst all people through the universal message of the Golden Rule, which is to treat others as one would treat oneself. Every week we have a special guest speaker who speaks on promoting goodness in an individual and society. Today, our guest speaker is Gloria Ali, who's a travel blogger and the founder of Muslim Travel Rocks. She'll help us break down the cycle of hate by traveling the world. She'll open our eyes to the world and its beauty. Traveling helps us learn about diversity and being inclusive. Every moment while traveling presents a teaching moment, a teaching experience for children and adults. Interacting with different people and their environment helps us to shape positive thinking and habits in our children. Children have to be taught to live and respect people who are different from them so that the world would be a better place for everyone to live in peace and happiness. By teaching our children about diversity and being inclusive, we'll be able to kick hate out of this world. So those who are tuning in, we have a special guest who's going to talk about, breaking the cycle of hate through traveling. Please share with your friends at this moment. Now a little bio about my guest speaker. My beautiful and splendid speaker, Gloria Ali. She's the founder of Muslim Travel Rocks, which she encourages and motivates Muslims to explore the world. Her goal is to combat Islamophobia through travel. She has been featured on Huffington Post, Halal Incorp, Khadija magazine, and recently was invited as the first Muslim travel blogger to attend the Going On Faith Conference in Ohio. Hello, Gloria.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. Sorry.
I'm super excited to be on the show today. Yes.
Yeah, I am too. So as you're introducing yourself, I'm going to share on my different pages. So please tell me other things about you that I didn't mention.
Well, as you know, I'm Gloria Ali. I'm the founder of Muslim Travel Rocks. I am an American Muslim born and raised in New Jersey, and my parents are from Puerto Rico. So I am Latino as well.
Latino in the house. I didn't even assume that. I was wondering. I said, like, where would she be from? Finally, you told me.
Yes, I am 100% Puerto Rican.
So what got you into traveling?
Well, my passion for travel started with my parents as an early age, as a child. So we traveled a lot back and forth between New York City, where my grandparents lived, and Puerto Rico. So we were able to experience a lot of different cultures. And even though, yes, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, it really does have a different culture. So when we traveled, I got to see how they dress, what music they played, the different traditions and holidays. Like they have different holidays than we have. So it's just, as a child, you're just so curious. And I was like, wow, I love this. I want to travel. I want to see what's out there. So my passion for traveling really started with my parents. So also, my parents also made sure that we always went on a road trip, either spring break or summer vacations. My parents made it a point that we always went somewhere. So like my fondest moments as a child was my dad going and getting, if you remember what it is, but it's called a map. Remember those maps?
Yeah.
So he used to go to AAA and get the map, and it was like such a big to-do. We would sit at the table, all four of us kids, my mom and my dad, and we grabbed the highlighter and he would tell us, okay, we're going to leave here. We're going to take this road. We're going to take that road. So one of us would take the highlighter and we would highlight the route that we were going to take. And so that was like the highlight of planning our trip. It was so exciting. And that always stayed with me. Like, this is so much fun. And it's funny because now that my children are older and my youngest daughter has 3 little boys, And she said to me not too long ago, she goes, Mom, you know, you always took us on a road trip no matter what. She goes, I want to instill that in my children. And I was kind of taken back. I was like, what? She's like, yes, Mom, you always made it a point that even if it was 4 days, 2 days, a week, whatever it was, but you always made us travel. And she's like, I remember it so vividly, like packing up the car and the kids sitting in the back. And she's like, I want my kids to experience that. So I was like, oh, wow. Like, I can't believe that my dad passed this on to me. I passed it on to my child. And I really had no idea I was doing this.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. Whatever
mhm.
happens during your childhood really affects you as you grow up.
It really does. You know, I went into travel and tourism school after I finished high school because I just had that itching to travel and that passion to travel. So I went to travel and tourism school, and then you know, life happens. You get married, you have kids, everything's put on hold. And so now that my children are grown, I was like, okay, and now that I have all this time, because I'm no longer dragging them to travel soccer, to Islamic school, you know, I was going to school full time, so I was really busy. So that all kind of came to a halt. And I'm like, okay, what can I do now? And that's when I started travel blogging. I said, I'm going to go back to my passion and I'm going to start writing. And I started the travel blog.
Wow. So how long has it been you've been writing in your travel blog?
It has been a little over a year and a half now that I've been travel blogging. So just to give you a little background, I have been thinking about travel blogging for years, but then during the you know the whole presidential election and campaign, it really got me thinking, you know, what can I do to make a difference in this world, right? And one of the things that I came up with was like, you know, I could travel blog and I can write about, you know, at the same time, I can combat Islamophobia through travel.
Hmm.
So I kind of put them both together and Muslim Travel Rocks was born.
It's great, both for the West and the East to meet, have the West
Exactly.
there, not many travel, and we have those in the East that don't travel, but if they all travel and they'll see the different countries and different cultures and societies, they'll be exposed to different experience, which they take back home and spread it among their people and build an environment
Yeah.
around.
And absolutely. And the thing is, too, that I've been featuring America as a Muslim friendly destination because it really is. And we really are a melting pot. And there's, you know, a lot of us think about traveling overseas, but man, America's got some beautiful
Yeah.
places here. Last year, I went to the Grand Canyon and it was
Wow.
breathtaking. Like, you know, my daughter went with us and my mom, and she's like, I just can't believe how this is the desert, but we don't live in the desert. We live in New Jersey and it's green. Where's the grass? And she's like, I can't believe that this is America. And so I was glad that she got to experience that because there are, you know, so many beautiful places to explore in the United States that, yeah, we can travel overseas and we do want to travel overseas to explore different cultures. But within America, we have different cultures,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, we have the South, you have the North, like there's so many different just it's diverse. It's so diverse, and it's really great for our kids to see that
Mhm.
here.
Yeah. Amazing. So those who are tuning in, you're watching Speak Up with Gulmiki. Today we have Gloria Ali, who is a travel blogger, and she does Muslim travel rock. So please share this if you're really benefiting it with your friends and on your pages. So Gloria, she told us about her travel blog, and now tell us, what is Muslim travel rock?
So, Muslim Child Rocks is a blog where Muslim families can come together to explore where they can go in the United. Right now, I'm featuring America as a Muslim-friendly destinations where they can go in America. Let's say if you want to go to the Baltimore Harbor. So I'm going to tell you, okay, these are the activities you can do at Baltimore Harbor. This is where you can eat. This is where you can pray. So for Muslims, it's a place for them where they can get the information that they need, right? So as Muslims, you know, we have needs, faith-based needs that needs to be met. And then for the non-Muslims, it's a great way for them to see what is out there,
Yeah.
right? So lately, I've been featuring a lot of different mosques around the United States. but there's also a couple of really neat churches that I need to write some posts and post it up, because there's just some beautiful, beautiful churches that we really want, that, I want to write
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, amazing. Yes. I love to visit some of those churches. Um,
Oh my gosh. And I don't know if you know, there's a temple in New Jersey. Um, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm going to do that hopefully within the next 2 weeks. But it's gorgeous. It's huge. And I'm just so excited. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go and just,
here,
post it all over social media,
here.
because, there's so many things that we don't know about, even here in New
Mhm.
Jersey.
Wow.
It's nice. I like to share. I like to
Yeah,
share everything.
I'm thinking of next year. Like I'm teaching Sunday school this year, so next year I'm not planning to teach. I want my weekends off, so I could just explore Philadelphia. There's so much history right here in my own city.
There is, and I've been doing, if you go to Muslim Travel Rocks, you'll see that I've been featuring Philadelphia, because there's just so much to do in Philadelphia. And I haven't, like, I've spoken about a couple of places, but man, is there so much more to see and do in Philadelphia, which is
Yeah.
really neat. And so I do that a lot. And one of the things that I talk about that a lot of people aren't aware of, even people in Philadelphia, that kind of shocked me, was that you have the Philly Flash Bus. So the Philly Flash Bus, you pay $5. It's a just for one day, $5, and it actually takes you to all the different destinations, attraction sites in Philadelphia. Right, for $5, the bus comes every 15 minutes.
Really?
Like, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. So I did this a couple of times. My nieces came from Florida. We did that. We went to the museum, to the Franklin Institute, Independence Hall. And then I did it with my daughter as well. We went a couple of times, and she was like, Mom, I had no idea that for $5, this bus would take you everywhere. And I was like, that's right. The Philly Flash Bus in
Yeah, I
Philadelphia.
wrote it down. Hopefully, I'll. Yeah, I love history, and Philly is filled of history. Something we could always learn. So how does this affect why is it important for parents to travel with their children? You mentioned that you traveled a lot with your father, and now your daughter and children want to travel.
Is going to wants to do the same thing. Yeah. So we're living in a really diverse world right now, and it's a wonderful gift, right? So we have children that are attending school with children that look different than they are, and we actually have more parents that are being more children that are being raised by single parents, same-sex parents, or blended families. So we're seeing a lot of different diversity, and children are curious, and we need to embrace this, right? So children will notice that the name Joaquin sounds different than what their name is like, or that Yasmin wears a headscarf to school every day, or that Jyoti's food smells and looks different than the food that they're used to, right? So they're so curious, and these are the things that we need to embrace. So the world is interconnected, right? Beyond borders and ethnicity and culture, we breathe the same air, we live on the same planet. So at the core, we're all humans,
Sure.
right? Educating children about diversity and becoming a global citizen of this world is how we can prepare them for the future, right? So we want to raise children that are broad-minded, right? Who are open to new experiences, who don't prejudge, who don't discriminate, who don't impose their opinions on others,
Hmm.
right? We want to raise children who listen, right? Who help others and who care, right? So we want to develop them into like responsible adults. So we as parents and teachers, we're the ultimate role models for our children, and we need to lead the way. And what better way to show our children about diversity and tolerance than through travel?
True. Very true. Uh,
Right,
as a child,
right, because
I
embracing,
remember,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
as a child too, I remember my father, who we will load up the car, and we'll even just going down to the park was, a big thing for us. Um,
Yes, yes.
it's just that nowadays everyone's so busy. They're on technology, busy with their phones and the computers. They don't have time to even go walk down to the park and travel.
Well, what I want to say about this is that the hurricane that hit the islands, right, in Puerto Rico, where most of my family is from, and um, finally one of my aunts just got power last week, or I think Saturday or Sunday. We were so happy for them. But I still have family members that don't have power, and the hurricane happened in September.
Wow.
But after talking with them and going back and forth with what are they experiencing, what are their needs, of course it's devastating. It was hard not hearing from them. But one of the things that I keep hearing often, and it comes back and back again, is that what, we're actually having conversations with our neighbors. We're going to our neighbors' porches and we're sitting down and we're talking. Our kids aren't on the technology. They're not on the phone. They're not on the iPads. They're actually playing games with other children. They're interacting. They're going back to the way it used to be during our grandparents' time. And that's one of the really good things that has come about all of this, where they have no power. By 7 o'clock, everybody has to go to sleep. But they're going back to the way that it was, and they're really embracing that.
Wow, that's amazing. So those who are tuning in today, we have Gloria Ali, who's a travel blogger. She is talking to us how to break the cycle of hate by traveling and helping our children, our family to travel different places right here in the United States at a cost efficient, which she's going to tell us now. So how do we go? There's a lot of families who cannot afford it financially to travel. So what are your ways?
I tell you, I was a single parent for years, and I always made it a goal. I said, you know what? No matter what, I'm going to be taking my kids somewhere because I want them to experience different things. And I don't know if you know, but travel improves academic performances in school, right? So whether it be a day trip to the museum, a trip to a national historic park, or just to the beach, right? This opens up a child's mind, right? And it brings in curiosity. So actually research has shown, they did a research, Clemens University, that children who travel, whether it be on a day trip to the museum, for example, a long vacation, or just, a one-day trip, their reading scores, their math scores, and general knowledge scores all go up. And in testing, their academic test scores all go up just by traveling.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right? So I would do day trips. I would actually look online to see what is there in town to do, or the towns around where I live that are free. There are so many places that have specific days that you can do different things for free with children. Maybe Tuesdays, the movie theaters, can be like $2, or the museum has a free day.
Sure.
For children. So I would take advantage of that. And the other thing that I used to take advantage of, and I believe they still have it, was the Broadway shows. So I'm not sure if it's in March or in April, they have the 2-for-1. So if you buy a ticket for a parent, the child goes free.
Wow.
So I used to do that with my kids, and they would, take turns.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was called the 2-for-1.
I'm writing it down.
So there's many different activities that you can do that, you just pay for gas. And I also used to always just pack my food, right? Because we're the 3 kids and me, sometimes it's a lot to take our families out, to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I would do an extended weekend and I would pack our food, right? So I didn't have to worry about food. I just wanted my kids to go out and experience what the world has to offer, what America has to offer. Another thing that I used to always do with my kids when they were in school was, if they were learning about Gettysburg, guess where we were headed to during spring break? Right? We were going to Virginia, right? We were going to Gettysburg. Yeah. If they were learning about Abraham Lincoln, we were headed to Washington, D.C., right? That's where we were going. So I always made our road trips with a purpose. So whatever they learned in school, I wanted them to see the effects of it, right? And so they would put 2 and 2. Oh, Mom, but this is where this happened, and that's where, oh my God, this is like. So it used to be so exciting to them because they were able, everything that they learned in school, they were able to actually go to different sites and see how everything comes together.
Yeah. I guess it's also the nature, we're always in buildings that, getting in touch with nature helps us. They're studying Japanese.
Absolutely.
People do forest walks in the forest just to relieve stress and anxiety. And we're always stuck in our or in a building or in a cubic. But traveling outside just that fresh air, walking in a forest or somewhere there, it helps a lot. Uh,
It releases stress, just letting the kids go outside with no shoes in the backyard. Let them get dirty. I used to say that all the time. I don't care. Go jump in the. Sometimes when it would rain, they would go outside and I would watch them. I was like, I'm not going out there. That rain is cold. But they would jump in the, in the rain outside and all full of mud and stuff like that. But that grounds you. So that's healthy. That's good for you.
We are the one who put fear on our children. As kids, we're told, don't do that, don't do this, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. So, it's okay. Let us get hurt. Let's learn our lesson. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And I do that too with my grandson. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to fall. And my daughter's like, Mom, you let us fall all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Just get up. You can do it, honey. Get up. You can do it. I'm here cheering you on.
Yeah.
But absolutely. So, traveling is a wonderful thing. And like I said, it also improves your academic performances for children, which is really good.
Yeah.
Right. So embracing diversity means practicing tolerance, right? And being accepting of others' differences. So teaching children to be tolerant and to be accepting starts at home, right?
Yeah.
So children have to be taught from the beginning to respect other people's differences, and it'll make the world a more peaceful place if we're all accepting of others.
True. Some things I could add to your tips on inexpensive travels. Right here in Philadelphia, we have Chinatown. If we can't travel to China, we have Chinatown right here. Italian market. In New York, we have Jackson Heights. And maybe a few more you could add to in New Jersey's. I think there's.
I want to talk about like one of the.
Okay. We'll just give you a few minutes. Something happened. Technical issues, which is normal during lives. Gloria, you're frozen. So let me just see if it's nothing on my side. Okay. Sorry, guess. Okay. So until she comes back on, we're just talking about traveling the world, how it breaks the cycle of hate. If we could financially travel around the world, it's great, going to different parts of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, North America, South America. These all have beautiful places that we could travel and learn about different cultures. We shouldn't be stuck in one place, because when we're stuck in one place, we never get to see the beauty of humanity, the way we're different and unique and wonderful people out there. Bear with me until Gloria signs back in, which will take some time. But, if you have any questions right now, I could answer them. Okay, Abdul Popal, thank you for your support. And Yusuf Chaudhry, yes, it is cool. It's a great experience. Oh, wa alaikum assalam, Martina. Yusuf, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everyone who said salam. So we're just waiting for Gloria to see. Let me see if I could bring her back on. Okay. In the meantime, you can ask questions, about traveling, like I said to myself that, I'm planning to take next year off from working during the weekend and just exploring Philadelphia. I have so much going on in Philadelphia. We have so much history. So Gloria's coming back on. Yes, she's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It just disappeared.
Did you travel somewhere?
Right here in the time zone. So one of the things that I did wanted to mention was like was when we can explore different cultures. So there's different places that within the United States. So for example, like Patterson has a large population of Arabs. So when you go to Patterson, there's Arabic food, the way the stores with the Arabic dresses and the outfits. So this is a way for you also to take your children to explore different cultures. And like you mentioned, Chinatown, what a perfect way, right? To take your children to explore different culture and ethnicity, different foods. It's a wonderful way.
Yeah, I was just watching a video a few days ago, AJ News, and they were talking about in California having an Iranian community that's, when you go in there, you think it's Iran. So, we have America, like you said, we have that diverse communities where we could visit and see people of different cultures and backgrounds, people of different faith. It's great to know about others. I don't know. I just love learning about people and who they are, and what they are, and what they have to offer to the world and their experience. It helps me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Travel contributes to cognitive growth and it stimulates a child's sense of wonderment. So even as an adult, when we see something new, we're like, wow, what is that? Like, I want to know more. Tell me more. And that's exactly how a child is. They're curious about everything. So, we do have to, embrace that within our children.
True. I mean, like some people are so fascinated about traveling, they go down deep into the deep blue sea, or they go out into space because they love traveling. They had enough of the earth. They want to go up into space and explore the space. What's out there?
Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do this summer. I'm so excited. I've always dreamt of skydiving. So this summer, I'm going to do it. My husband was like, this is it. This is your summer and you're going to do it. I was like, oh, are you going to do it with me? And he's like, oh no, I'll be watching with both of my feet on the ground. I was like, okay. But I'm so excited because it's something that I've always wanted to do and I just never did it. And so he's saying, you know what, this is your year. You're going to do it. So I'm super excited. I'm going to have it all videotaped so everybody can watch me be paranoid and,
Facebook Live.
What was that?
Have it on Facebook Live. That's what your husband could do from the,
the bottom absolutely, of the ground. Right. So you can see me shaking and panicking. But it's something that I've always wanted to do. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I like to write that's something I want to do. I always admire riding horses, but I never done it. I never had the chance. So that's something I would like to do one day. And swimming into
what are you waiting for? We got to do it, right? We got to just do it.
I can't
get out of our comfort zone. Yeah, get out of our comfort zone and do it.
Yeah. So continuing it, can you share us, I know you shared a few little bit stories with us about your traveling experience as a childhood. Is there any particular one that you have a fond memory of that you want to share? Before you answer that, those who are watching, can you please share this video right now so others could also enjoy it? Share with your friends, share on your pages, your groups, so everyone could benefit from Gloria's advice.
All right. So one of the things, you're going to laugh, this is really funny. It has more to do with my brother. So one summer we were in Puerto Rico and, we spoke Spanish, even though we were born and raised here. We didn't speak any English, right? Because my parents are both Puerto Rican. So we were in ESL classes till like 3rd grade. So anyway, my brother forgot to speak Spanish after a couple of years and only spoke English. So we went to Puerto Rico during our summer vacation, and one of our uncles had a farm and he had chickens, and my brother would go all the time. I'll never forget this. And he would just like throw little pebble chickens and make them chase him around and stuff like that. So one day one of them came and actually bit him and was chasing him. So he got sick and he was picking me now, picking me now, picking me now. And everybody's like, what is this? So my uncle came to me, he says, what is your brother saying? We don't understand. This is an English word. And I'm like, well, what did he say? He's like, picking me now, picking me now. I'm like, that's not English. Like, I don't know. That's not English. And I'm thinking like, what could he possibly have, what did he have said? So what he did was he spoke Spanglish. He was trying to say, pick at me now, because I got you with the stick. but he put both words, Spanish and English together, as a pick at me now, like pick at me now. It was so funny. But I mean, these are little things that I remember. I remember jumping. Oh my gosh, we're so crazy. Jumping off the roof of my uncle's house onto all of the chicken feed. Like, I don't know what we were thinking. My uncle would pile up all the chicken feed, and all the kids would run up to the house, and we would jump off the house into the chicken feed. Like, wow. And then we would just slide down. We were kind of crazy. I don't know. But it was fun. It was so much fun. Like, where I would have never had gotten the chance to do that here in America, right?
No.
But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember there was like a stream down the river, down our house, where we would go and, during the afternoons and go there and sit in the stream and just enjoy nature. I mean, that's, as kids, we couldn't travel more than that. So, but it was, fun, interesting. You learn about nature, you explore. And yes, we didn't get to meet people there because we met a lot of fish. So there's a brother asking, he said, Araf, he's saying, Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Over the years, I've discovered that a number of immigrants refuse to mingle with the non-Muslims, even American Muslims. We often find it very difficult to leave the comfort of home and work. Do you have any answer for that?
Well, you know what? We really have to get out of our own comfort zone. And when I say get out of your comfort zone, we have to make that first step, right? Because how are our children going to embrace diversity? How are they going to be tolerant of other people if we're not doing that ourselves, right? So we need to take the step and do that ourselves. So one of the advice that I would give you, brother, is that, if you have the opportunity for your children to do play dates with people from different backgrounds, right? So, maybe someone who's Asian or someone who's Hispanic. If you have the opportunity for your children to have play dates with kids from different backgrounds, take advantage, because how else are we going to learn about someone than by spending time with them, right? So we have to make that first effort, right? We can't always wait for people to come to us and only stay within our own cultures and our own groups, because then our children aren't going to learn, right? And then also, we're not going to understand our children when they get older, because the life that they're living now is very different than the life that we live, right? So that would be my advice: is you have that opportunity. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. You're done. Sorry,
yes.
It's hard with this Facebook.
The lag time.
Like we can catch each other, right? Yeah. So I could, after being a refugee and my family where we're immigrants, refugees coming to America, my parents, they were in a culture shock. So those Muslims who have been living here in the United States for a while, what we could do is educate them and help them adjust to the new environment, talk to them, tell them about, the different experience, what's happening here in the society, the cultures, until they ease up. It takes time. It's hard for them. They were living in one culture where is a collective culture, and they come to an individual society. Here in the United States, we live as individuals, and this society is like that, where they're used to a collective culture.
Yes.
So that really, like, especially older people I've seen, when they come, immigrants, they come, they're very, because in their countries, they're free, they're out and travel, they go to their neighbor's house, they go shopping, they do everything, they don't need a translator. But here they're stuck in their house, they can't go anywhere, and it's very difficult for them. And so we should show compassion and understand their situation and try to help them and make them.
Absolutely. Yeah, so once we learn about other cultures, it also improves our empathy towards others, right? That's why traveling is so important. But traveling allows us to learn much more than what school can potentially teach us, right? True. So, and I'm not talking just about international travel. I'm talking about travel within the United States. Like you said, leaving our own little, development that we're in, and going to Patterson, for example, right? Where you have a big Arab culture there. So I'd say experience different things. Go out to an ethnic restaurant that you've never gone to before. Take your children. Eat with chopsticks. I don't know how to eat with chopsticks, but gosh darn it, do I try. I try.
Or
So
you
that
know,
can be a lot of fun,
cook at
experience
home. You
different
try.
foods.
Yeah, yeah. I have clothes from all different countries. I'm not
Hmm.
embarrassed to wear them. My food at home, we cook from different international food. If we can't go out there, we're going to bring it into our house. Movies we watch,
Absolutely.
documentaries we watch. Sometimes we're learning. I wanted to learn about China because I don't know. I have this. I'm attracted to calm nature people, and I see Japan and China. They
Hmm.
have that in their nature. They're humble and they're calm. So I did wanted to study them. So I would watch some movies of them to better understand their culture. So there's different ways. You just have to be
Absolutely.
creative.
And the library, oh my gosh,
Oh,
reading transcends us, right? And it opens up for new experiences and a different perspective. So I, as a young child, always loved reading
mhm.
because you can just picture yourself in that other place. And one day you want to go. And even certain movies, like, you're going to laugh at me, but the reason why I always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon is because the Brady Bunch had an episode. You remember the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
There was an episode of them in the Grand Canyon, and they met Native Americans, and they were in the Wild Wild West. And I was so curious. I was like, oh my God, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I added that to my bucket list. And, and last year I was able to go, but
Mhm.
it was so exciting. And it's funny because the reason why I wanted to go was because I saw it on a TV show
Yeah.
and I saw things that I wanted to experience. I wanted to experience what it was, um, to be, to meet a Native American, because I've never met a Native American before. So I wanted to experience that.
So did you had a chance to meet them?
I did. I met a couple of Native Americans, and it's funny because also last year at ICNA, when we went to ICNA, there was a Native American that spoke at the event, and it was just, it was wonderful. It was
Wow.
nice. I just love meeting people from all over the world.
Yeah, even one thing I have to say about the Muslim community here in the United States is that when you go enter the masjid, the place they pray, Muslims pray, you will see a diversity of people from all different nationality, cultures
It's
praying
like
together.
United Nations. You can go to any church, any mosque. It's like United Nations.
And see, that's something that doesn't really happen in other parts of the world, because they don't really travel. They're stuck in their country and they only meet people of their tribe, their clan,
Yes.
or their city, or their town. They never get to know the others. There's this show called Lost, and there's these people called the others. They're on the other
Oh
part
my
of the.
gosh, yes, I know the show. I love the show.
I only watched it because my kids were watching it. I just watched it for them. But they always mention the others.
Yeah,
The others are, let's find out who the others are.
who the others are. Absolutely.
Even having like some I saw them doing in UK. Some parts I saw in other organizations they're doing it. They have tea time with neighbors, and they invite their neighbors over, and they get to know their neighbors, understand who they are. Before traveling, they were let's travel our neighborhood. Let's know who our neighbors are. That's something that's not happening today.
Yeah. We need to get back to that, right? We
Yeah.
we need to embrace diversity. We need to teach it to our children.
Mhm.
Like I said, it starts at home.
Yeah. So those who are watching, if you're really enjoying the show, please do share right now. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you love it, give us a heart. And if you think it's amazing, give us a wow face. So what other plans do you have for yourself besides the blogging and travel agency you have? Is that an agency? If correct me if I was wrong.
The
The
Muslim travel
Muslim
blogs?
travel rock.
No, it's just a
Is
travel
that an
blog.
agency? Oh, okay.
No, it's not an agency.
So
It's
now
just a
what other
blog where I
do you have
traveling
for
where
yourself?
Muslims can go. So I also have, I'm hosting the all women's retreat. All right, yay! It's going to be the weekend
Oh,
of July 6th to the 8th in Connecticut, and it's going to be a time of self-reflection, self-care for women. We're going to have daily hikes, morning yoga sessions. We're going to have a painting night. We're going to have bonfire chats. And we're going to just have
wow.
discussions that women want and need to talk about. This is going to be a good event for sisterhood, right? And for just, getting back to our, refueling our soul, right? Getting back to us, because we're so busy taking care of everybody else that we forget to take care of ourselves. But if we don't take care of ourselves, how can our family, carry on? Right? So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the event. If you're interested in attending the women's retreat, it's called the Rediscovering and Reawakening Your True Self Retreat. And it's www.muslimtravelrocks with an S/retreats. So that's coming up July 6th to the 8th. I'm also going to be speaking next month in May at the Women's Travel Summit. So I'm really excited about that. And so I'm going to be on a panel of women speaking about diversity. So that's really exciting.
And please do share
Um,
with us.
and then in September, I got invited to speak in Austin, Texas, about family travel. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Oh, God bless you. If you don't mind, typing it into the comment bar so others could see the links for the
Okay,
retreat. And
I
of
will.
course, they could see your blog. So everyone out there, you heard that she's going on a retreat, sisters. It's amazing. I see her work, and I saw, her travel retreat that she's doing, and I really was admiring it. But me, I go with my two daughters all the time, everywhere, because I want them to experience everything.
Mhm.
So hopefully, if I'm able to go, I will go join her, travel with her, and
Inshallah.
have that retreat.
And it's open to all women. It's not just Muslim women, it is all women. We just want women to come together in sisterhood. So that's going
So
to be a
you
lot of
hear
fun. I
that
can't wait.
from of all faith, culture, every woman out there, come and join Gloria Ali and enjoy the retreat with her.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm
Oh,
super excited.
so you mentioned where you're going to write down where they could reach you, inshallah. Is there any questions anyone have for Gloria?
And
Going
you look at
once,
questions, I'm going to
going
write
twice.
it down.
I know you all have questions, so come on, bring out the questions. So the brother, his question, about the immigrants was very good. Um, Another thing, right now we live in a time where there's Islamophobia is growing. Muslim kids are being bullied at school. It's our job to go out there and introduce ourselves, invite our neighbors, have an open masjid day where people come in from all cultures, go to the church, give Islamic one-on-one classes, teach about our faith, our culture to them. We can't blame them that they because this is what they hear. Today I got so upset. I was at the library and they have this cart full of books that at the end of the month they give away for free or they sell for 25 cents. And I'm looking through the books and I see some books on Islam. I was like, oh wow. I got a little sad. I said, oh, I wish they leave it in the library for people to read. But then I said, I'll leave them. Maybe someone will benefit from them because I don't need them. Then I thought about it. I said, maybe I could take them and take it to my daughter's school. And, it was more informal, so like educational, not preaching Islam. So then when I opened the books, I said, let me read and make sure, there's no misinterpretation. I was very, very, very disturbed, what I read. These are kids coming to the library, families coming to the library and reading these books about Islam. Some of the words, I just can't mention it. It was so sad what I read. And I didn't believe anyone else but myself. I'm not doing the part to invite my neighbors, to go to them, help them when they're in need. I need to change the narrative. I need to go out there. It's our fault that people, yet, they're writing these things or they're making these TV shows or whatever propaganda against Muslim. But I blame ourselves. It's my fault for not doing much. And a lot of us, we have the skill sets. We just need to get out there. Get off out
So,
of our comfort zone.
now that you say that, that reminds me, there is a Ramadan initiative. I don't know if you've heard it before. I think this is the third year. This may be the fourth year. It's called the Ramadan Initiative, and it was started by two Muslim sisters at our masjid, Islamic Society, Central Jersey. And what the initiative is during Ramadan, is that you would give gifts, either food, dates, a little message, and you would take it to your neighbors, and you take it to your job, right? Because you're fasting, they don't understand why you're fasting, or they know that you're fasting, but they really don't understand everything. So people will go on the Ramadan Initiative website and post pictures of what they did, and had meals with their neighbors, invited their neighbors to the house so they can learn, what an iftar is, what suhoor is, how we celebrate Ramadan. So this is a great initiative that everyone should really get on board, because it teaches other people, non-Muslims, about what Muslims are doing during Ramadan and what actually is Ramadan, right? So like you said, we need to take the initiative. So this is a really great initiative. It's called the Ramadan Initiative. I think Sister Azra Baig is one of the founders of the initiative. I actually wrote a blog post about it. It's on my website as well, www.muslimtravelrocks.com. So you can read more into this initiative. But it's a great way. It's a great way to start.
Beautiful. It's one step makes a big difference. We just
like sometimes I just buy a donut. I buy a box of like donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, and I write on there "Happy Ramadan." And I take where I work at, I'm the only woman, so it's all men. I'm the only woman there. So I take this box that says "Happy Ramadan," and they'll give me a call. Oh, thank you for the donut. What's Ramadan? And so I will explain it to them. So it starts a conversation. And that's the goal, to start that conversation.
That was one thing I was mentioning at ICNA. We have to become creative in the way we're talking to people and informing and creating an environment of understanding. We can't blame people for learning Islam, being terrorists, or the wrong way. This is what they hear. Imagine that was us. We'll be hearing this all the time in the news. The non-Muslims are terrorists, or the non-Muslims are killing Muslims. We'll be afraid of them too, right? So, it's upon the non-Muslims to get to know us. Now it is our turn that we take that step and get to know them and bring them to our homes, offer them our dinner, offer them our friendship, offer them our help. There's so many things we could do. There's a story about my husband. For a few years, we were living out in Westchester, Exton area, where we had these neighbors, and the neighbors, they weren't liking Islam until, my husband, he's very friendly, and he befriended the man, and eventually, after time, the man starts telling my husband that, in the beginning, we did not like Muslims, because what we heard in the news, my father did not like Muslims, until you came and changed the narrative, and you told us, you showed us, you didn't tell us about Islam, but you showed us through your actions, through your kindness, what Islam is. And we're friends till now. Like I just had my son's wedding, and he was
beautiful.
And he was coming to, he comes over, and we're planning to go to Lancaster and travel with him in Lancaster County. Him and his wife, they're great people, I don't know if they're watching, but, we love you, and we, it's, a friendship we want to continue.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. And we, like you said, we need to make that first step. We need to reach out, right? And it starts at home. Sure. It really starts at home.
Yeah. So if there's any more questions, I think it's time for, if Gloria wants to leave, I have a last minute things to say. But if you have any final message, Gloria, that you could say.
Yeah. Right now. Sure. So what I wanted to say, in conclusion, was that, we want our children to be raised in a world where they're able to express themselves, right? That they are, believe that anything that they want to do in life, they can accomplish, right? So, but the reality is that we do live in a world that sometimes has discrimination, or there's different types of biases against people that, that's still around. And what I would like to tell everyone, and to to continue to do is that we can raise our children to celebrate diversity and values, right? So that they're confident in who they are and that they're proud of their family traditions, right? And it doesn't matter, what color your skin is, what language you speak. It doesn't matter. We should be raising our children to love diversity and to be tolerant and accepting of everyone so that we can have a peaceful life.
Beautiful, beautiful, yes. That's the beauty in humanity, the diversity, So I just want to say thank you, Gloria Ali, for taking the time to talk to us on how to break the cycle of hate by traveling, exploring different parts of the United States and getting to know people, understanding people, and having empathy and love and friendship with people who are not like us. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. It was wonderful being on this Speak Up with Gulmakai.
I really enjoyed the talk with you. I hope everyone else did enjoy it. So even afterwards, you could share this talk with friends and watch it over and over again. So our next talk show, we will have Tamika Anderson on Wednesday, April 11th at 7 p.m. right here on my Facebook channel. Tamika is a confidence consultant, and she will speak on ways to increase confidence in a child in order to decrease violence. So please join us next week right here. Speak Up with Gulmakai. Take care. Thank you, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.